Hello and welcome to Light Guidance 9 Time, and this is the first of the new format of I'm just going to record these episodes. I had been doing them live for the first 30, and this is an evolving experiment sort of thing. And in 9 minutes, really couldn't have a conversation with those of you who are kind enough to actually join the feed. And the other thing is, due to the lifestyle that I choose to live, I wasn't able to commit to a certain time to do this every day, to really make it sensible to do a live, at a certain time every day, to where perhaps a certain group of you could be available yourselves to chime in. So the evolution of this is now I'm going to still be doing 9 minutes. It's still going to be recorded live. I don't have the time to edit these things, and by no means do I want to come across as that perfect or that polished or that produced. I'm just here to share some messages, things that life shows me that I'm working on, that perhaps you can benefit from too. And so the first episode, I'm particularly 31st for the whole thing, but first for 9 Time, is this concept of 30 30 30. And what that is in reference to, most of us go out into the world and into conversations with people with the preconceived concept in our mind that we have 100% grasp on what we consider to be the ultimate and only reality that really matters, which is our own, right? That's what we have, is our experience and our conclusions, our truths, what we believe as being self-evident, and absolutely what there is. So, if we try to have a conversation with someone, chances of finding that other person who is 100% on board with us, I tell you what, I haven't found them yet. I've been out there for a long time. I got over 50 years on the planet, of which for sure, the past 40, I've been, looking for friends, and I found a lot of you guys, thank you so much, but you know what I mean. But those people that you can identify with, and I mean, even with the people that I really get along well with and we have a lot in common, we still have a lot of areas where we're just slightly different places, and that's as it should be. It's beautiful, okay? It's a great thing, that diversity, that rich variation of experiences, which makes things so great. So anyways, here we are. We're going into the world, and we're going into a conversation with somebody who's got their 100, and we have our 100. So where do we meet there? And like sometimes with the good people, we find a blend, but there's some interlinking, but then there's some stuff that misses on either side. But we tend to accept that because we're so happy to get whatever that ratio is. For most of us, I'm assuming somewhere perhaps at least 51% is good, probably better, closer to 60, is good, 70%, 80, those rare people at 90%, man, we just click, man. We just know, we just feel each other. Our references are such, it's just amazing. But even then, we have that last little bit. So, and along the way, so we're taught, say, in school or at work, play nice, and so we back down into this okay, well 50-50 it, and I get 50% of my stuff's right, 50% your stuff's right. Now, if it's not the agreed on 50%, then it still takes up a whole bunch of room, right? Their 50%, we'll just say for illustrations, is on top, and your 50% is on the bottom. But it's still divided, and there's still not much room, and there's no place to go with that. So it doesn't really serve either one of you that well. It just gets kind of muddied up. It's like you're perfectly clear in one place, and then they're perfectly clear in another, but their clear is one color and your clear is another. It just kind of browns up. It's compromise. It's and it's does it really serve or help? I don't know. So this idea is, how about we go into it, and this is just purely a suggestion, something to think about, something to try. By no means is this the final word, or am I telling you what to do. I'm just sharing something that I'm excited about trying in my life. Come into it every day. We own 30%. We know we've got 30% of whatever this is, this topic, this particular project, this idea, this reference of truth, of what is going on. We got 30% of it, okay? We can cover that. I know I put my time in, I've researched this, I've been paying attention, I've been being straight with myself. I've got this 30%, I can own that, and it's not too much to ask from the situation, okay? And then we give that other person, they give them, you get 30% too, great. So now they've got their 30%. It doesn't have to be anywhere near ours, and actually, ideally, it's probably better that it's not. Okay, because now, they have 30%, we have 30%, and then what is that? That's 60%. So now we've got this whole other room. So now we have a 30% space, and this is a 30, 30, 33. And I know all you sharp people are putting together, hey, there's something else missing, but we'll get to that. So now we've got 30% room to put the best in the overlapping and the areas where it works of this next 30. We, the two of us, can agree on. Perhaps there's some compromise. Perhaps there's some, well, how about this? How about if we add this? How about we take a little bit of mine, put it with a little bit of yours, and we blend that right there and see what that does. Okay, so there's some room right there. Now, we've got some room to move, all right? We're not static. We're not boxed in at 50-50. We're not taking the whole 100 ourselves, and giving them no room and making them squeezed out. We've got room to grow. We've got room to play with this thing, okay? And then, so that 30% that we're sharing starts to take on a life of its own. And then you give it another 10%, and that's where just the full bonus happens. That's just where the unimaginable, that's where miracles can take place. That's where that next leap into the unknown, that's where invention is, that's where discovery is. That's where the magic's at, right there, that last 10%. Anything we do, if you think about it, wherever you're at in life, no matter how good you are, when you get that last 10%, that's where the amazing stuff happens, You can do 90%. 90% is good. Oh, it feels good. You have 90% a day, you've done something incredible. But when you get that last 10%, and you get to 100, you get fulfilled. You fill every box in every corner just perfectly, and there's nothing left out or nothing left over. That is amazing. So here, within our relationship, within the conversation, and initially, practice these on the easy ones, okay? Practicing the stuff, they're low consequence, right? If it doesn't go well, you're not going to get hurt, physically, emotionally, mentally, any of it, and neither is the other person, okay? It's going to be relatively comfortable growing experience learning this, okay? But then as you go, bring it to a little bit higher risk, a more intense area, maybe bring it to that one meeting at work with that one guy. Don't try that the first time out unless you're desperate or just crazy. It can be fun being on either side of that deal, but not all the time. Anyhow, so next time you have to go anything, first just practice it, like I say, but just think about this. Come in, 30%, your stuff, and then the rest of it, just be open. Don't think, oh, that person's all jacked up, or they got that wrong. Just be okay with it. Just accept what is. Where they're at right now is right here. I'm not there, but that's okay. They are. That's their space to occupy. And I'm not there either, right? If you think about just where you're physically located, right? You're in separate spots. So how could you possibly be, in the same spot here? Well, it's even funny to even think we should be. So accept them. Be grateful for what they bring. Be thankful they're over there, because since they are, like if they actually, if this is possible, if they just suddenly poof and weren't there, it would suck you right over there, because we need all the mass and the things that fill in around us to be there, because if they really weren't there, and suddenly they're just gone, all that would create a ripple that would actually screw up a big bunch of stuff. So that's taking it kind of deep. But anyway, be thankful for where they're at, okay? Be thankful that they're there occupying that space. They have that experience. They bring that perspective, all things that you didn't have to, because not all of it was good, okay? Some of that stuff hurt. Some was painful. Some of it was not fun to go through for them, just like for you. So be thankful for them. Be grateful for them. Be good with them. Accept that. And then see what they have to say. And then see how your 30% and their 30% could turn into your collective, your agreed upon 30%. And then out of that, see what that last 10% is. See what that magic is. See what can happen. You deserve that, man. They deserve it. It could be awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you once again so much for all the stuff you're doing out there. I have no idea where you're at, what you're doing, what loads you're carrying, the burdens, the work, what joy you're spreading, what light you're shining, what love you're sharing, what things you might be struggling through. I have no idea, but I honor you and I appreciate you. I thank you so much for being on this wonderful journey with me. I hope you're having the most amazing day possible. Be extra special good to yourself, okay? Just for today. Thank you so much. Until next time.